For example, our Department of Homeland Security has met with international groups and governments to share best practices on how you can engage faith-based organizations around disaster response. Our Office of Global Health Affairs partners with the World Health Organization to provide reliable information about vaccine safety to religious leaders. Particularly in Indonesia and Nigeria, religious leaders have falsely claimed that vaccines were used as biological weapons targeting Muslims. U.S. government officials worked with these religious leaders to help dispel dangerous myths. Our Department of Agriculture has consulted with religious authorities and others in a number of countries around issues related to importing and exporting kosher and halal meats. Our USAID, our development mission in Madagascar, works hand in hand with Christian, Muslim, and traditional religious leaders in the dissemination of messages about maternal and child health, about the fight against malaria, and improving access to water, sanitation, and hygiene in churches, temples, and mosques in 422 communes across that country. Our USAID mission in the Philippines supports a special initiative called Al Khalifa, the Steward, an environmental source book based on the Islamic perspective of managing the environment. This source book was helpful in preventing and resolving conflicts in Western Mindanao that are related to the use of environmental resources. Our embassy in Dhaka, Bangladesh, hosted a regional conference on the role of religious and community leaders in advancing development in Asia. Over 60 interfaith political actors and development practitioners came together in a way that provided a platform for folks from all different backgrounds to share their experiences on impacting development through interfaith service. In China, our engagement with religious leaders has been particularly important given the difficult issues of religious freedom there. Our U.S. ambassador to China has a fund for cultural preservation that provides an important means of preserving Tibetan culture. And of course, this conference here today, which we are so honored to be a part of, is an unprecedented example of our U.S. Embassy to the Holy See taking a lead in promoting best practices on interreligious action. So across the United States government, there is a growing trend of engaging religious and community-based actors to advance our common non-religious goals. But although we uncovered some great examples in that process of mapping, too often in my own government, this work is sporadic and ad hoc. While some departments and embassies incorporate religious and community leaders into their work, others don't do that at all, or perhaps only host an occasional holiday reception. In many circumstances, staff reported that they did not understand the critical legal parameters around interfaith engagement, or they did not feel like they had adequate knowledge and training to effectively reach out to religious leaders to advance development and diplomatic goals. And that's why we're working to change that. Through the Interagency Working Group on Religion and Global Affairs, we are creating mechanisms at the State Department and at our development agency to engage religious leaders on an ongoing basis. We're also specifically focusing on the training of United States government staff. In fact, we were just talking about engaging ambassadors across the world and making sure that they know how to engage religious leaders in their countries and in their embassies. We believe that this is the future of grassroots engagement from the perspective of a government, and we would love to work with and partner with and learn from you all as we build out this effort. The goal here is to partner with faith-based actors and non-governmental organizations, not to advance religious issues, but instead to advance shared common goals that are non-religious, like conflict resolution, environmental protection, and health and development. I know that there is much that we in the government of the United States can learn in this process of engaging religious actors from so many in this room. And I see today's conference as an opportunity to begin that conversation and share best practices in tackling our global challenges together. But when those challenges become almost too heavy to bear, as unfortunately they often do. When the distance between us seems so far that it doesn't seem like any bridge of hope can span it. When the hurt inflicted by someone of another faith threatens to overwhelm any sense of empathy or compassion that might bind us together. I wonder if in those times we might be motivated to extend a hand of peace or a morsel of food or a tent of shelter, not only by our innate compassion, but also by our memories of the times when we were the stranger, when we were the abandoned, when we were the despairing. Perhaps then, when Pakistan is racked by floods and thousands are left without hope, we who have also had high waters in our cultural memories, from Hurricane Katrina to Noah and the Ark, can find common cause with the drenched, the homeless, the orphaned. Perhaps when we see young people marching down the streets of Tehran and enduring taunts and blows, we, as people of faith, will remember all the marches of our religious histories as well. From Montgomery and Birmingham, the Salt March from Sabarmati to Dandi, even the procession of the children of Abraham from out of Pharaoh's bondage. Perhaps when the earth shakes beneath the feet of a people, as it did in Haiti, in those tremors, Catholics and Jews will remember the deep rumble of tanks beneath their feet in Poland. And awoken by that stir, will join together across religious lines in rescue and relief, as in fact so many did in Haiti. Faced with crisis and challenges, we will at times be motivated to build interreligious bridges of hope by the forces of love and of charity and of joy. But when that is not enough, I pray that we might also join together because of the memories of our own pain and the desire to prevent that pain from ever occurring again for anyone, anywhere. As I close, I would like to consider the beautiful words of His Holiness, Pope Benedict, delivered just a few months ago here in the Eternal City. His Holiness was reflecting specifically upon the Iraqi context and the mutual experiences of Muslims and Christians there. But I believe his words apply to people of all faiths as well. He said, and I quote, "Recent years have seen many tragic acts of violence committed against innocent members of the population. This shared suffering can provide a deep bond, strengthening the determination to work for peace and reconciliation. History has shown that some of the most powerful incentives to overcome division come from the example of those men and women who, having chosen courageous paths of nonviolent witness to higher values, have lost their lives." End quote. In our work to foster development, to protect our environment, to create peace out of strife across religious lines, I hope that we would remember those who came before us, the suffering of our own peoples, our own histories, and our own beliefs. And I pray that those sometimes mournful memories would actually help us build a brighter and more hopeful future for one another. A future where the pain of our own past provokes us to heal others with the balm of mutual concern. Thank you so much.